Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 2652 and Doubleshot number 2546. Got two DC trades here, both featuring founding members of the Justice League. Well, that one's loose anyways. Okay, first that we have is Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Volume 3. Yep. Now, this collects from Wonder Woman. It collects issues 190 to 198 and World's Finest number 204. Now, basically about 6 of the issues are written by Mike Swalski, written and drawn by him. He also does Detour 2, Assault on Castle Skull, Angela, The Prisoner, The Target for a Day, The House That Wasn't. He does pretty much all those issues. Right and draws them. Now, Journey to End of Hope, that's written by Denny O'Neil, art by Dick Dillon. Oh, and there's also inking here by Dick Giordano for the first 6 issues in the book. The House That Wasn't, inked by Wally Wood. The cover art for these books, for Journey to Hope, that's basically Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. Dick Giordano does issues 197 Mostly put, here's what happens here. So, we begin right after the events, the previous stuff with so they mentioned stuff that happened before, like going by like Detour. Could this possibly, and of course, someone with the Amazon, could this possibly mean that, Wonder was getting her costume back? No. Still in the white outfit. It's more a bunch of Arabic stuff, her getting captured, because of course they wanted to keep up the whole non-bondage stuff. So, it's a really interesting idea of like going to this Arabian stuff. It's like Lawrence, my guess is probably a nod to going to Lawrence of Arabia stuff. That's the first issue. And look, I love this cover here where apparently like 198 was like 178 was like 77 was like the last issue basically for a regular Wonder Woman story, and then like 179 is like the new Wonder Woman. So we kind of wrap the story, continue the story up there. It's very, for some reason 191 is like very, very brief. It is like 1, 2, 3. It is really quick. Yeah. For some reason it's like a really quick thing. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5 pages, which I'm like, was most of this book a reprint? Yeah, when I was reading this, I'm like, why is this so short? And I'm like, that's a good question. Why the heck is it so short? Because I would love to know. I highly doubt the original issues is 5 pages. Does it collect an entire story in here related to 191? Okay, so that's pretty much the reason why. So, the reason why this issue in this trade here is really short is because a lot of the book is a reprint of 179. That's pretty much basically the reason why that the issue's short. So, moving on to the next issue, continuing. Oh, look, here's one her regular costume, which is only here for this one panel. You'll continue this whole thing of like her in like this fantasy setting, instead of being like a modern day city. Like, okay, let's try something new with this whole thing. Yep. Yeah. Does this get wrapped up? Because I Chang is not in this issue. And then very next issue, it's back to wherever she was. So this whole thing is about stopping. It's all about basically Diana stopping Vigilante in this issue for trying to take a law in their own hands. Like, thought about the law. Yeah, it's mostly that's what the story for this issue is. And then 194, like, there's this king who kidnaps her in order to attempt to force to marry his son. Yep. That's essentially what 194 is. Does she have it? Oh, yeah, she does. But they go through proper wedding, and that's that. And then we have this haunted house issue for issue 195. Still great cover. It's mostly put like a snowy issue. I think it's snow in August. That's the issue that came out. Most of it's like a murder mystery type of thing, but it's a really interesting issue. I don't have an issue with it at all. Not necessarily. And then, like, the very next issue, right after issue 185, then we have World's Finest number 204. Yeah, this is basically Superman teaming up with Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. And this is the only thing written by Danny O'Neill in this book. Mostly put, it's still like late 60s, early 70s stuff. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this book covers the period of 1970 to 1971. Really good team story between the two of them. I really enjoyed it. One of many times they two are teaming with each other. And then we go straight to issue 196. I think it's the last issue in this book, I'm mistaken. It is, I think it's actually the third to last issue. Yeah, third to last issue. You're thinking, ooh. Yeah, little target like, ooh, it mentioned the cheetah. The cheetah does not appear in this issue per se. Like, is this another one of those issues where it's a partial reprint? Okay, there's that opening story there, but the other two stories here, the second story, the original one, that's a reprint. The Stormy, so they only print one story in here, just the opening story in this book. So apparently, the Stormy Menace of a Goblin was apparently an unpublished Golden Age Wonder Woman story. And apparently 197 and 198 are not in here because of the reprints. It's a fun Night Chang issue. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm not sure why they decided... Actually, there is a reason why they decided to include the Cheetah story because... Well, because it's an unpublished Golden Age story. Is it collecting some other, like, Wonder Woman book? Like... Yeah, that's not helping me. Yeah, there is a trade for Wonder Woman Cheetah. Does it collect that one issue? No, it doesn't. Not sure why, but it just doesn't for some reason. I might review this in the future. Yeah, apparently it was an unpublished Golden Age story they thought I'd throw in there just cuz. Yeah. Just cuz, but... Oh, by the way, 196, that was the last issue by Mike Sawalski. Yes. He would leave the book for reasons. Yeah, 196 will be his final issue he would do for the series. Who takes over? Well, after the reprints of 197, 198. Yeah, 197, 198 are basically reprint issues. Mm-hmm. My guess is probably the issues weren't ready for those, so they want to basically hold it off for later stuff. Yeah. But I'm going to be discussing the rest of this era in another comic corner. Yep. Alright. By the way, I give the book roughly 9 out of 10. We got one more book left to go, and we're done with that. Next up we have is basically what's called Aquaman the Atlantis Chronicles. This mostly puts the history of Atlantis. Kind of, basically the royal family. That's mostly what this book is. It's so really well by Peter David. The artwork in this book is by Isma Morocco. And this technically was the very first Aquaman book that Peter David ever wrote before he wrote the ongoing series before his ongoing run started in 1984. This was released in 1990. It's a quick 7-issue limited series. You're thinking 7 issues, why is it so thick? It's a deluxe edition. It contains some unpublished artwork for the book. I found this series to be a lot of fun. You can chance to learn some secrets related to the royal family, the fact there was an illegitimate child, and apparently one child got thrown out because it was a mer baby, and apparently that's not a good thing for the society for some reason. I'm not sure why. And if you're curious, it's called Aquaman, Atlantis Chronicles. Does Aquaman himself appear in the book? Not really. It's mostly a brief appearance by his brother Ocean Master, but basically Arthur Curry is not in this book at all. It's about the history of Atlantis. Would I recommend this? Yes, if you're an Aquaman fan. Because this is mostly for... This was the best way to describe this book, this was the post-crisis origin story of Atlantis. Still really well Peter David. I guess DC figured, though, they had success with the retail for Wonder Woman, Superman, they had some Batman, so why not do stuff for Aquaman? Yeah. Really good book. Give this book roughly I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's the episode review. Next up is a Buffer series new anime. You'll find out what it is soon. Okay. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Okay.